Welcome to a new series that I'm going to be doing, which is off-meta guides, and we're starting with AP Malphite today. AP Malphite is a very common build, and I think it's well known, but I just want to try and get into guides because I do enjoy doing the off-meta builds on my YouTube channel, and I want to see if I can help other people try doing off-meta builds. Now, the first question we need to ask and answer is, why would you ever play Malphite in AP? So there are a couple of reasons. The first one is that all of Malphite's abilities have an AP ratio on them. So I'll put them up on the screen. But what this means in essence is that anytime you buy an item in the shop that gives you AP, whether it's a mythic or just like like an amplifying tome, that gives a small bit of damage to every ability in your kit, which means that it's essentially a small power spike. So it synergizes very well with Malphite. Second reason is that Malphite is also one of those champions where it doesn't really matter if you win or lose lane, because your ultimate is just such a huge team fighting and engage ability that it can still impact fights and change the game. And the ult has a 90% AP ratio, which means that it's actually going to be doing the most damage, as well as providing a lot of CC. So even if you feed, it's okay, because A, you can still blow up squishies, and B, you can still provide a positive impact on team fights so that your other team members can follow up and help you in the fight. Now, there are some cons to this build, which I do want to highlight. So the first thing is that Malphite is very mana hungry. So this is just at level 1. As you can see, you start with 280 mana. Your Q costs 70, which is your main poke before you hit 6, and your 6 is 100, which is around, it's nearly like 30 to 40% of your mana. So that's one thing, and that's a weakness that opponents will look for to punish you if you play this in lane. The second thing is also that AP Malphite is very squishy. Normally you build Malphite as a tank, but here we're just going full damage. So what this means is that if you get CC'd and countered, which will probably happen at high elos, lower elos, you should be, you'll still get rinse, but hopefully it's a bit less. So let's say you go in your ult, there's a higher chance at high elos that they'll flash or they'll dash and they'll know how to dodge the ult. But if that happens, there's a very low chance you escape with your life. So definitely try and hit all your ultimates and try and predict flashes and stuff like that. In terms of runes, you have 3 options you can use for this build. You've got Comet, which is good for poke in lane, and it provides you the sorcery tree. You have Electrocute, which is good in pretty much any situation because you're always going to proc it, and that's the domination tree. And then you have Dark Harvest, which, because you're going to be doing a lot of damage, you can also proc very quickly. My favorite option is Electrocute. I prefer running the full domination tree, and I'll have the rune page up on the screen, but I like going Electrocute, Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collection, and Ultimate Hunter. The ultimate is very pivotal to Malphite's kit and is your biggest power spike, so you want to be trying to get as much ability haste as possible. Cheap Shot as well, you do a lot of CC, which means that you'll be doing a lot more damage. For my secondary, I do like to take Sorcery. I like to take Scorch with the poke, with Q, and I like to take Mana Flow Band. So as I mentioned before, Malphite does have a lot of these mana issues, so Mana Flow Band does kind of help you in lane. So usually what I'll try to do is I'll try to proc it every time it's up. Yes, it's risky and they'll trade, but it pays off in the long run. For some of the spells, I like to run Flash and Ignite. Flash for positioning and stuff like that, and Ignite for kill pressure. If this is your first time doing it or you're worried about these mana issues, you can just take Teleport instead of Ignite. If you lose lane, that way you can get back to lane quicker, and you can get to fights and impact the map a bit more. In terms of mythics, you also have 2 options which rank above the others. So first one is Luden's Echo. This provides you with a lot of damage, and it also helps with the mana problems. It has Lost Chapter in its recipe, which means that if you build that in lane, you'll be able to stay in lane for longer, and you have a higher chance of get off your combo in fights that you'll have more mana. Its passive also provides you with more AP penetration, which is a small spike to your kit's damage. The second option is Night Harvester. Again, a very good option. It provides a lot of damage just by itself. Its passive provides you a lot of damage, and it provides you with stacking ability haste, which is good for the kit, as we need that for the combo. The only downside to that is you do lose that mana, and I believe Luden's is 600 mana, question mark? Yeah, 600 mana, which is a lot. That's 6 ultimates right there. So for me, I do enjoy Night Harvester, but I've started to come across to the Luden's Echo as my first item. For boots, you also have 2 options. You can go Boots of Lucidity for ability haste, or you can go Sork Shoes. This is up to you as the player, based on what your preference is. I personally like to go for Sork Shoes, as it gives you more damage. Second item, I'll either go Magi's, because gotta love Magi's, just based on how the game state is going. And if it's not Magi's, then I'll go Lichbane. You do a lot of auto attacking, so Lichbane is it does help your kit, especially with the W, with Malphite's W. So it does provide a lot of damage. Third item, you have a couple of options. You have Horizon Focus, Rabadon's, Void Staff, and Shadow Flame. Those are usually the last 4 items that I'll get in this build. Horizon Focus provides you with a little bit of a boost if you immobilize an enemy. Void Staff provides you with more AP penetration. Shadow Flame provides you more damage if the person has been shielded, and Rabadon's just provides you with a flat boost to your AP. Of those items, Shadow Flame is very situational, and this one you can substitute with Zhonya's Hourglass if they don't have as much shielding and you're a bit and you're trying to outplay them a bit more, and you're worried about getting countered, then Zhonya's Hourglass is still definitely a great option. So now we're gonna go and look at some clips just to see how this combo does work and how you want to pilot Malphite, AP Malphite, whether it be top, mid, jungle, or support. So for abilities, we're going to want to go QWE first. We're going to be maxing Q as that's our main source of damage, and then we're going to show what the combo looks like after 6. So your main combo is Alt QE Ignite, and as you can see, it's a lot of damage. So your priority when ulting is to try and get the carries, but also try and get as many people at the same time. Final thing is, make sure you have fun! Off-meta builds are harder to execute, and it might take a couple of games before you do get 100% out of it. And if you found this content helpful, I'd love to hear from you and any feedback you have, as I really enjoyed making this video and be keen to learn any ways I can improve it and make it better for next time.